Omagyana Timinandasya Ganangana Salakaya Chakshusmita Yena Tasma Sigurave Nama Si Chaitamanovistan Stapita Yena Bhutale Sayarupa Kadama Nyadadati Swampadantika Vandeha Siguru Sita Parakamala Siguru Vaishnavascha Sirupan Sagajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Sajivan Sadvaita Savaduta Parijana Saita Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kantu Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Bindavaniswari Isabano Sutadevi Panamami Haripiye Vanchakapatarubhyascha kripa shinti vacha patitana pavanavebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo 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 mahavadanyaya Krishna premapadayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namane gaurati sinema Sri Krishna chaitanya prabhu nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Siva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ananda Lila Maya Vigra Yohima Bhadra Vichavi Sundaraya Tasma Maha Primrasa Padaya Chaitanya Chandra Yanamana Mastute Chaitanya Chandra Yanamana Mastute. So I thank everyone for coming to this evening's Bhagavad-Gita class. So Bhagavad-Gita, it's spoken by Lord Sri Krishna himself to enlighten his dear devotee Arjuna, and by speaking to his dear devotee, the Lord is speaking to the whole world. When Krishna speaks, he only speaks to his devotees. And then through his devotees, we get to hear the message. So it said that Savopani Sadhu Gabo Dugda Gopala Nandana, that all the Upanishads, everything, they are like cow. Savopanisadho Gabo. All the Upanishad, all the Shrutis, Smritis, everything, they are like cows. And the milk of the cow, Dugda Gopalanandana, is Krishna is Gopal. So he's the milker of the cow. He's milking the cow. And mention the Sudhi Bhakta Gita Vitan Mahat, that so Arjuna is like the calf. So Krishna is making the cow of the Upanishads. Arjuna, is because the cow will only give milk if the calf is there. Otherwise, unless nowadays they make the cow using artificial means. But normally the cow gives milk. If the calf is placed in front, then the cow gives milk. So the milk is coming, Krishna is squeezing it. The essence of the Vedas, essence of the Upanishad, that's Bhagavad-Gita. And because Krishna is a dear devotee, Arjuna is the dear devotee of Krishna, so Arjuna is the calf. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna with the allegorical meaning of the cow being squeezed. And then the dear devotees, the Mahat, so they are drinking this nectarian, this nectar of Bhagavad-Gita. They are drinking this nectarian. So therefore, Bhagavad-Gita is very, very sweet. And basically, the more you hear it, the more relishment you get. All of us here, we have been hearing Bhagavad-Gita, studying Bhagavad-Gita, or speaking about Bhagavad-Gita for many years, for many decades. Still, no matter how many times you hear the Gita, it's always fresh. It's always fresh. no matter how many times you hear it. You can read one sloka today, you read the same sloka tomorrow, it's new. It's like you never heard of it before. Because why? Because Krishna is ever fresh. When Krishna speaks, his words always ever fresh. You never get tired of it. Whereas any mundane sound, any mundane words, you hear it once, you don't want to hear it again. You know, that's the nature of materialistic sounds. Once you hear it, that's it. You don't want to hear it again. The Krishna's word, no matter how many times you've heard it, it's always new. New meaning is always coming. New realization is always coming. You see. That's why Bhagavad-Gita is such a scripture that so many acharyas, they all give me their commentary on the Bhagavad-Gitas. Many acharyas, all the sampradayas, all the 4 Vaishnava sampradayas, they all give me their commentaries on the Bhagavad-Gita. Even Sankaracharya, who's the impersonalist, who was the leader of the impersonalist school, he also commented on the Gita. And as a matter of fact, he wrote Gita Mahatmya. He wrote the glories of the Bhagavad-Gita. And so anyway, glories are there. Actually, Lord Shiva, when he was glorifying the Bhagavad-Gita, he was saying that even if one person just hear half a sloka of the Bhagavad-Gita, that person will get the greatest benefit. So we are very fortunate that we are able to hear or we are able to speak on the Bhagavad-Gita. So we have been deliberating on this Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person, which is the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. The yoga of the Supreme. The text, according today we are reading the text number 18, whereby Lord Krishna is talking to Arjuna about the difference between the living entities and himself, Kshara and Akshara, fallible and infallible living entities. So the Lord is talking about the difference. So in the last two verses, he has been talking about this, and then the text number 18 is concluding this discussion, the difference of the fallible jivas and infallible entities, Kshara and Akshara. Like in the chapter 16, in the text 16, the Lord has said, Dwa imo purusho loke, that there are 2 types of person. In this world, there are 2 types of personalities, the fallible and the infallibles. The fallibles is referring to the living entities. They are called fallibles. Living entities like from Lord Brahma all the way down to the insignificant living entities. Not just humans, we're talking of animals, plants, reptiles, fish, and all that. These all same categories, they are jivas. So everyone is fallen living entities, infallible, like fallible living entities, because everyone has got temporary situation within this material world. And of course, we know that it's the material body that is temporary, but living entities are fallen. They're fallible because they are able to dwell within the material body, and they have no choice. They have no choice. They are made to, especially as long as they are within the material world, they have to dwell within the material body, and they have to take one body into another body, and there's no choice on that. Whereas the infallible living entities, these are the liberated soul. It's called Jiva Mukta. You have Jiva Bhuta and you have Jiva Mukta. Jiva Bhuta are the living entities who are in this material world, whereas Jiva Mukta are the liberated living entities who are in the spiritual world. So those living entities who are in the spiritual world, they are considered infallible. They cannot fall. Actually, no one can fall from the spiritual world, because spiritual world is a land of perfection. Once you attain that, you don't come down. Krishna said, Mameti Sona. Arjuna said that Mameti, and once you reach that place, you will never fall down. Whereas, as long as you're in the material world, so you are following living entities. Now, there are also, in addition to the liberated jivas, in addition to that, there are two entities. These two entities are described to be the Brahman and also the Paramatma. These are also considered to be the infallible living entities, because the jivas, they are part of the energy. It's called the spiritual energy, who are not susceptible to the materialistic situation. So the Lord is the supreme soul, whereas the infinitesimal living entities are individual souls who are spark of that supreme soul. So, and the Lord in the aggregate or the aggregate, like the Paramatma, so they are considered to be the portion of the Supreme. Actually, as we deliberate on this verse today, I'll be talking more about this. So I just read the text for today's text, and then we'll go through the purport and some comments by previous Acharya also. Yasma Ksharan Natut Atitoham. You can repeat. Aksharan Apichotama Atosmin Lokavedecha Pratitam Purushotamaha. Yasmat, because Ksharam, to the fallible, Atitaha, transcendental, Aham, I am, Aksharat, beyond the infallible, Api, also, Cha, and Uttamaha, the best, Ata, therefore, Asmi, I am, Loke, in the world, Vede, in the Vedic literature, Cha, and Pratitaha, celebrated Purusha Uttama as the Supreme Personality. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vinod Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Purport. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. He is, therefore, the greatest of personalities. Now it is clear here that the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entities, either in the conditioned state or in the liberated stage, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There is always the question of superiority and inferiority between their personalities. The word Uttama is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Lokhe signifies in the Purusha Agama, the Smriti scriptures, as confirmed in the Nirukti dictionary, Lokyate Vedato Nena. The purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures. The Supreme Lord, in his localized aspect of Paramatma, is also described in the Vedas themselves. The following verse appears in the verse Chandogya Upanishad, Tava Desa Samprashado Smach Sarira Samuntaya Param Jyoti Rupan Sampadya Swena Rupena Bhinispadyate Sa Uttama Purushaha. The super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Then in his form, he remains in his spiritual identity. That supreme is called the Supreme Personality. This means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. That Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma, by indicating himself as the son of Satyavati, by incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashara, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva. So in the Bhagavatam, first canto, Sutta Goswami, he has described the absolute truth, the non-dual absolute truth, that Vedanti Tattva Vedans, Brahma, Yaj, Dvayan, Advayan, Vedanti Tattva Vedas, Tattvan, Yagyana, Advayan, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Sabdyate. The absolute truth is described as being a non-dual personalities. Non-dual is known as Brahmati, Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagavan. These are the three aspects of the absolute reality, the absolute personality. The three aspects, Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagavan, is known differently. And of course, different spiritualists, different spiritual practitioners, so they know it's not differently according to what type of endeavors, what type of a spiritual endeavor that one has undertaken. Even though yes, it's Dvaya means it's non-dual, it's the same personality, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. But even though spiritually they are the same personality, but in reality, the difference is there. Just like you have, there may be a lamp, there's a flame, there's also a big fire. Even though constitutionally it's the same, the flame, the lamp, the big fire is there, is the same, but the capacity is different. The capacity is different. You know, what a lamp can do, a flame can do, the big fire can do differently, can do in a much more greater. You know, a big fire can burn, big aspect. Whereas just small, and of course, the sun is also there, which is even much more greater than the fire. It's much greater. So similarly, the Brahman, Paramatma, they are there in a different aspect. Just like in the Srila Rupa Goswami is describing like the different qualities of the Supreme, the different qualities of in terms of the potentiality of the living entities and then the Supreme Lord. Like he's describing that ordinary living entities, they have like 50% or 50 in terms of the potential, the 50% in terms of the what they can accomplish, what they can acquire, whereas personalities like Lord Shiva, they can have like 55% of the absolute in terms of the power. Whereas the you have 50%, you have 55%, and then you have 84%. Lord Shiva can get up to 84%. Narayana can get up to 96%. But Lord Krishna is a full 100%. Because Lord Krishna has special quality which are not there in the in the personality of Narayana, which are not there. So, and that's why it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam that Ete Chansa Kala Punsan Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, that there are portions of the Supreme Law that are also part of the planet portions, but still Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Punam Bhagavan, is the most complete of all aspects of the absolute truth. So Lord Krishna is saying that beyond the fallible living entities and the infallible living entities, and also the Paramatma, because the text 17 is describing the Paramatma, that beside the two there is that greatest personality, that greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, who is the imperishable Lord Himself. This is indicating the Paramatma. Who's actually the controller of both the fallible entities and the infallible living entities. But beyond that, beyond the Paramatma Himself, is He Himself. He said that I'm celebrated in all the worlds as the Supreme. Is celebrated as the Supreme Person. So which means He is beyond Paramatma. Not only is He beyond the living entities who are fallen, or those liberated living entities, He's also beyond Paramatma, is beyond Brahman, because the Brahman aspect, Brahma is His impersonal aspect, like the flame that is coming from His body, that is Brahman aspect. And then His localized aspect is the Paramatma, the localized aspect. The yogis, the impersonalists, their meditation is on the impersonal aspect, and then they can merge with the impersonal aspect of the Lord. And then the yogis, they meditate their meditation on the Paramatma, and then they can attain the Paramatma. That's the yogis. But we know that the whole aspect of meditating on the impersonalists, they attain the jnanis. So they attain the impersonal feature whereby they can merge into the body of the Lord. But this merging into the body of the Lord, this is not that great, because we know that the demons, they also attain the same destination. So which means one doesn't have to really perform so much austerity of so much meditation to attain the body of to emerge into the body of the Lord. The demons, they also get the same destination. Like when Lord Krishna was here 4,000 years ago, He killed so many demons, Agasura, Jarasandha, Bakasura, so many demons that the Lord killed. But all those demons, they all got liberation. They got impersonal liberation. They emerged into the body of the Lord, all of them. Just like when after the Aghasura was killed, so the great personality could see that is the soul, when the soul leaves that body, demonic body, it enters into the body of Lord Krishna. He enters the body of Lord Krishna. So the demons, they also attain the same destination that the Gyanis attain. So what's the big deal? So therefore the Lord said, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. He said, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So why should one waste, take so much effort in terms of trying to attain this impersonal aspect? So when the Lord was describing different types of yoga in the Bhagavad-Gita, especially in chapter 6, so the Lord said, Yogina api salvation, is a tag, Magatina Taratmana. He said the best yogi is the one who have attained me. And then he said, and how does one attain? He said, Shadava, was it Shadava? It was that Yogina, happy salvation, Gatina and Taratmana, that those, the real yogi is the one who have actually attained me through the faith of devotional service. So the yogis, they attain through the practice of yoga, one can attain Paramatma. However, the bhaktas, they attain the Supreme. They attain the Supreme Lord. And the attainment of the Supreme Lord is not because they don't lose their individuality. No. They attain the Supreme Lord in the form of service to the Lord. So the bhaktas, they are the topmost yogi. The bhaktas. They are the topmost yogi. And this is what the Lord is indicating here in the Lord. That even though the various aspects of the Supreme, they are all the same in terms of the, when we talk of Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagavan, they are the same because they're the same in terms of their same spiritual nature. However, the category is different. The category is different. Because it mentioned here, some personalities are his portions and part of his portions, but Krishna alone is Swayam Bhagavan. So, according to this statement of Sutta Goswami, so Krishna is the supreme reality. Is the supreme reality. So this is what the attainment should be. So in the Bhagavatam, when Sutta Goswami was speaking, because he was talking of different spiritualists, those who undergo various type of endeavors. So he said in the Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 5, text number 12, Sutta Goswami said, Na iskami api achyuta bhavajitan, na sobate gyan alam niranjanam, kutapuna sasha abadram Ishwari, na chapitan kama yadapi akaranam. So he said that knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and translate by nature if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? As referred to above, this is from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. As referred to above, not only ordinary literatures devoid of the transcendental glorification of the Lord are condemned, but also Vedic literatures and speculation on the subject of impersonal Brahman when they are devoid of devotional service. So all activities which are not directed towards the personal devotional service of the Lord, such activities I consider to be a waste of time. So therefore, I mentioned here that the bona fide enjoyer of the fruitive work is the personality of Godhead, and thus, when it is engaged for the sense gratification of the living beings, it becomes an acute source of trouble. So therefore, it's mentioned that that Vasudeva Parangyana, Vasudeva Paranmaka, Vasudevan Paro Yoga, Vasudevan Parantapa, Vasudevan Parol Dhammo, Vasudevan Parangati. So in this case, Vasudeva is referring to Krishna, whereby I mentioned that Krishna is the goal of everything, is the goal of yoga practice, is the goal of all activities, is the goal of all austerity, is the goal of all kind of endeavor, and ultimately is the goal of life. This is actually the conclusion of all the scriptures. So therefore, all the spiritual disciplines, they all aiming at the attainment of the Lord through the performance of devotional service. Because the Lord is saying here that he said I am beyond of fallible and infallible. I am beyond that, and therefore I am celebrated as the supreme person, as the Bhagavan. So how do we attain Bhagavan? Bhagavan is attained only through but by devotional service, not any other means. There is no other way to attain Bhagavan, only through devotional service. Bhakti to Sakya. He said only by devotional service can he be known. There is no other method. Of course, in the Bhagavad-Gita from chapter 6 to chapter 12, from chapter 7 to chapter 12, it's all about devotional service to Krishna. It's describing the devotional service to Krishna, how one can attain him. Whereas from chapter 13 all the way to chapter 18, it's Gyan. That's the descriptions of Gyan. And especially this chapter 15, whereby the Lord is describing the science of Purushottam, the science of the Supreme Person. So the Lord is explicitly mentioning here how he is that Supreme Person. So in this, summarizing the Vedic scriptures, summarizing whatever is being mentioned in the Upanishads, in the Smritis, Shrutis, summarizing all of them together, the Lord is saying that here, I am that Supreme Person. Which means the Lord is telling that don't waste your time in any kind of other discipline. Don't waste your time. I am that person, especially now, the Lord himself is standing before Arjuna, standing before him. He said that I am that person who is to be worshipped. And of course, Arjuna already knows that. After, if Arjuna didn't know that Krishna is a supreme person, why will he be telling Krishna that just drive my chariot? I only want you only as my chariot driver only. Because before the battle of Kurukshetra, before the beginning of the battle, both Arjuna and Duryodhana, both of them went to Krishna in Dwarka. And both Arjuna and Duryodhana, both of them have relation with Krishna. Duryodhana is Krishna's son-in-law, because Krishna's daughter was married to Duryodhana. Forgot her name. So Duryodhana has a relation with Krishna. And Arjuna, of course, the Pandavas, is a dear devotee of. Arjuna is Krishna's cousin. It's because Arjuna was the son of Kunti. Kunti is the brother of Vasudeva. So Arjuna has a relation with Krishna as the Krishna's cousin, not only being a devotee of Krishna, and Duryodhana is also Krishna's friend. Krishna's relation. Krishna's his daughter was married to Duryodhana. Is it Duryodhana or Duryodhana's son? Anyway, so the relation is there. So both Arjuna and Duryodhana, they went to Krishna and Dwarka. They want to find out which side Krishna is going to be at this impending battle. which side Krishna is going to be. Now, when at that time Krishna was lying in the room, he was lying in his chamber, and Krishna was resting. So Arjuna entered the room, and also Duryodhana also entered the room. There were two chairs. One chair was at the feet of Krishna, another chair was at the bedside, the head, the bed that is of Krishna. So Arjuna sat at the seat, on the seat facing Krishna, on the feet of Krishna. And Duryodhana came because Duryodhana is like, very, very proud, very proud man, So he came and sat at the chair at the Krishna's head. So he said, like, I'm Duryodhana. So both of them are in the room. So Krishna wake up and open his eye. So obviously when he opened his eye, the first person he saw was Arjuna, obviously. And then he noticed that Duryodhana was sitting there by the bedside. So Krishna asked them that, what can I do for you? Both of you are seeking my help. How can I help both of you? So, and of course, both of them said, okay, we've come to see which side you want to take for the, for the battle that is coming. So Krishna said, well, there's myself, and then there's my army, called the Narayan Sena. Narayan Sena, Krishna's army, which is very vast army. What is that? The commander of the commander of the army, what is his name? I forgot his name. The commander of the Narayan Sena, the Dwarka, the commander-in-chief? You know the name?
Choni.
Huh?
Choni.
No. His name is San something. Huh? The commander of the army, I forgot his name. Anyway, which means not an ordinary person. He's the commander of the army of Krishna, of the Dwarka. So Krishna said, there is my army, and then there's myself. Now, one of you can choose my army, and one of you can choose me. And I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to carry any weapon. I'm not going to fight. So you can make your choice. So, and of course, he said, but I first saw Arjuna first. Because when Krishna woke up his eye, he first saw Arjuna. So Duryodhana was wondering, it's Arjuna because is he going to choose the army? Because after all, he saw that, army is so great, Krishna's army. But Arjuna said, I'd rather choose Krishna. I will choose you only Krishna. So Duryodhana is so happy. He's going to, and Krishna is not going to fight. He's not going to fight. He said, I will not carry any weapon, I will not fight. So Arjuna said, I'm only choosing only Krishna. And so Duryodhana is so happy, I can take Krishna's army. So vast, big army. Vast army of Krishna. So Duryodhana was very, very happy. So he took, so which means the Krishna's army is going to fight for Duryodhana, and Arjuna only have Krishna. But Arjuna know who Krishna is. This is Bhagavan himself, is the Lord himself. Plus, Arjuna is the Lord's dear devotee, is Lord's dear friend. So on the battle of Kurukshetra, what did Krishna told Arjuna? He said, Bhakto Shime Sakaseti, he said, because not only are you my devotee, you're also my dear friend. So Arjuna is Krishna's Shaka, is Krishna's dear friend. As I mentioned, Yata Yogeswaru Krishna, Yata Patro Danodara, wherever there is Krishna, there is Arjuna. And wherever there's Krishna Arjuna, there's victory, there's everything. So when Krishna was saying this to Arjuna, that I am the supreme person, it's not that Arjuna doesn't know. Arjuna knows. He's a devotee of Krishna. Is Krishna's dear friend. So of course Krishna is saying is proof. He said, I am celebrated as the Bhagavan, the Swayam Bhagavan, the supreme person. So we know that yes, that the only way that this Bhagavan can be attained is only by bhakti, not by any other way, not by any other method. So therefore, devotees do not waste their time trying to accumulate knowledge or trying to perform yoga. They don't waste their time, they simply engage themselves in the devotional service of Krishna. Whereas other spiritual practitioners, the Gyanis or the yogis, for them to attain their goal is so much effort, if still there is no guarantee that they will attain the goal. Actually, it's actually mentioning that in order for one to become successful as a jnani or as a yogi, there has to be some element of bhakti has to be there. Some element of bhakti has to be there in order for one to be successful as a yogi or as a jnani. Whereas bhakti is not necessary. Both jnana and yogi jnana is not required at all. One simply has to be a devotee of Krishna. Shravana, Kirtana, Smara, Vishnu, Padasevana. These are 90 different places of the devotional service of Krishna. And if one gets this, then one attain the highest destination. So this is the superiority of Krishna, of Bhagavan. The superiority is being mentioned in this verse. This is actually the gist, the actual purport of this sloka, which we are reading today, according to what's been described by the acharyas. So therefore, when devotees, when they are worshiping the deities, offering pujas, so they are very, very content, because that offering to the Supreme Person, that is the highest perfection of life. That is the highest goal of life. So this is what's been mentioned here, and there's so much more we can discuss about this verse. So I'm going to stop here. If there's any question or comment. Hare Krishna. Let's just Yasman Ksharam Atitoham Aksharar Apichotamha Atosmin Lokabi Decha Pratita Prushotama. This is just another translation, whereby saying that because I am transcendental beyond both. No, not this one. Another translation of this text. That since I am beyond Sharat Tattva, the fallible jiva, and also excel even the twofold Purusha, Brahman and Paramatma, I am well known both in this world and in the Vedas as Purushottaman, the Supreme Person. The Supreme Person, the Bhagavan. So the Lord said that I am beyond both the honored living entities and also beyond even Paramatma and Brahman. So therefore I'm celebrated both as Purushottama, as the Supreme Person. So, any point, comment, question? I know people know that. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
In this last paragraph, fifth line, super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. The super soul coming from out of the body, which body? From which body it is coming from?
No, the super soul, this is coming out of the living entity's body. Yeah, because during the time of devastation, normally the super soul normally accompanies each body. As long as they're in the material world, during the super soul normally accompanies the body. I mean not the body, the soul, from one body to another body, to another one. However, during the time of devastation, when all the bodies are completely, all the material, both the gross and material bodies are annihilated, so that time the super soul will leave the living entities and enters and get back into the, I mentioned here because they become the aggregates, and it again become part of the, like in this case Garbhodaksha Vishnu, because you have a Kirodasha Vishnu who is the individual Paramatma who enters into the body of every living entities, and at the time of devastation the Kirodasha again merge into the Garbhodasha Vishnu, again merge again, and that is is what's been entered here, enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. And of course, this text here, which is coming from the Chandogya Upanishad, and the Supreme is called the Supreme. This means that the Supreme Person is exhibiting But the explanation is actually there itself, that the Supreme, as I probably mentioned here, because my understanding is that the Kriya Vishnu, it goes back to the body of Gabodasha Vishnu as the, you know, as the universal soul. That's at the time of the the devastation, as the universal soul. But this one I mentioned here that Prabhupada said that this means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing its spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. So that Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma. So that Paramatma is the one that enters the body and then leaves the body again back into the aggregate, into the aggregate body. That's basically what's been explained. And of course, this explanation is not concluded itself, as Prabhupada was just said that the Lord incarnated Himself as Vyasadeva to give a much more explanation of this. But in order not to get too confused about this text, we just have to take it in that aspect of Paramatma, go back into the body of the Gabodasha Vishnu. It's like the same spark, it goes out and then the same spark again enters again, becoming bad. But however, it's not the same as the living entities, because the Paramatma, who is the Gabodasha Vishnu, and Gabodasha Vishnu, they are the same person. They are the same personality. It's not that the Gabodasha Vishnu is different from the Gabodasha Vishnu. They're just like one is the soul of the universe, another one is the soul of individual, the localized, the Paramatma that enters, who sit next to us as the witness of our activities. But at the time of devastation, that universal soul, the localized soul, the Paramatma, he again go back into the into the universal soul. So the way the Upanishad talks about it is kind of a little bit complex. The way it's explained is there's a little bit of complexities there. The way it's explained. But the fact is that are we going to take the fact that it enters into the impersonal Brahmajyoti. So anyway, the Lord's body it's a form of that's just the body that's meant it enters into it. So anyway, I don't want to keep going around. So we just have to take whatever Prabhupada wrote about this. We have to take it the way it is. So this we can deliberate, more and more about this.
So in that case, my understanding was the super soul, the soul. If we have any desire, we can take the birth. Take a birth to fulfill his desire.
The what?
The soul. And the super soul enter into Brahmajyoti.
Yeah. So the super soul enters because the super soul is part of Brahmajyoti anyway. It's part of that. The super soul is part of Brahmajyoti. Now, when the living entity enters into the material world, the super soul assumes a form by which he enters into the body with the living entities and acts as the witness. Act as the witness of the living entities' activities. Even though the super soul does not take part in the sufferings or the enjoyment of the living entity, but it still sit there. Only the living entity is undergoing sufferings and enjoyment, but the super soul does not take part in that. But it just sit there as a witness. But at the time of the final devastation, the super soul again entered into that universal body, into that universal, entity.
What's the term that we are discussing? That back to Godhead. We have to go back to Godhead. That time the soul go back to Godhead.
Yeah. Okay. Now the term of because different liberation are described, different type of liberation of the living entities. or not just liberation, the devastation, when the living entities relinquish the material body totally. This is actually final dissolution, when the living entity is no more in the material or the either gross body or the subtle body. At that time, the living entity attain liberation and then go back to the spiritual and attain the final liberation, back to the spiritual sky, or go to the spiritual sky. Now, when we say back to Godhead, it's this term back to Godhead was something. It's a term actually, let's say, used by Prabhupada. Back to God or back to home, but it doesn't mean that. Of course, there is a lot of discussion that were we actually ever there before? The point that you were never there before, so how can you go back to the place where you were never there? Because Krishna said that that place you don't come back. If you're in that place, you don't come back. So obviously we were never there before, but back to God, that is is a back to our spiritual nature. It's back to our spiritual nature, yes, whereby we no longer be subject to repetition of birth and death. That's actually back to God. That's what it means.
Yeah, that is the doubt.
Yes.
The soul, if devotee is there, Vaishnava is there, he will back to Godhead. Back to
our spiritual nature. Yeah.
And the super soul merged into Brahmajyoti. That's what it is mentioned here.
I mean, you have to know, super soul is Bhagavan. He just manifests himself differently. He's the same person. It's called Nandua, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti. So there's three aspects of Bhagavan. It's called, that's why the first line says, Dwayan, that's the verse which is non-dual. Dwayan means non-dual personalities. Same person, but manifests himself differently. As Brahman, Paramatma, and as Bhagavan. So, when he manifests himself as Paramatma, that's when he's with living entities. By the same person, one person, he just manifests himself differently. But at the time when that will no longer be necessary, when the living entities become a devotee, attain bhakti, then the living entities is with Bhagavan. It does not. Then Paramatma is no more needed. It's no more. The presence of Paramatma is no more required with the living entity because he has attained bhakti. He has attained Bhagavan. So the presence of Bhagavan and Paramatma is no more required. So it just different. Same person just manifests himself differently. That's the whole thing. You have the electricity, you have the electric board, like that. Then you have the light.
But in spiritual nature, in spiritual sky, we have a form. We have a form.
In the spiritual world?
In spiritual sky, we have a form.
Yes, we have a form. Of course, we have a form in spiritual sky.
But how come the super soul merged into Brahmajyoti is mentioned?
No. I say in spiritual world, we do have a form. We have a spiritual world. We have a spiritual form, a spiritual world. And this form we are having now is a reflection of the spiritual form. It's just like the beginning of this of chapter 13. You talk of the upside down, the tree that is upside down, the Ketra and Ketragan, the upside down tree, the root. So we're talking of which means this material world being a reflection of the spiritual world. So which means the material world, our material body, is a reflection of the spiritual body. A material body is temporary and is subject to suffering, whereas the spiritual body is not subject to suffering. So again, you have to understand what I mean, that the Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, those three aspects of absolute truth, even though they are the same person, they just manifest differently in the material world based on the particular function which is required. And when that function is no more needed, then they again become part of the absolute. When that function is no more required. That's just the basic thing. But the living entities, once we attain our spiritual nature, we become liberated, we got the spiritual body, then there's no more spiritual, no more materialistic in a tabernacle as proper we use. No more materialistic situation. Once we attain the spiritual form. That's the whole point of bhakti, how the bhakti is in how the bhakti is required. Once that form is attained, then there's no more need, there's no more required. You know, it's I can keep on. Is it comforting a little bit?
Still, I don't understand.
Huh?
Still not clear, because so if it becomes perfect like Vaishnava, a devotee, he will go back to Godhead.
Yeah, back to spiritual world.
In the spiritual world.
Go to the spiritual world.
Spiritual form.
Yeah.
But in the super soul, higher than the soul, right?
But the super soul is, again, the super soul is part of Bhagavan.
Yes.
You know, so the super soul is part of Bhagavan. Okay, so which means instead of super soul being the heart, the liberator jiva, you become a Vaishnava person, you'll be seeing the super soul face to face. Now instead of being your heart of your heart, you see him face to face. Just like when Dhruva Maharaj, when he was meditating, he was performing austerity, he was meditating on the super soul and by chanting Om Narayana Nama. But when he became perfect, when he attained the perfection of his austerity, the super soul will come out and manifest before him as Vishnu, as Narayana before him. The super soul come out of his body and manifest himself before him as Narayana.
But here it is mentioned,
So,
it's mentioned to impersonal Brahmajyoti.
that's a technical thing. We should not be too much swayed by that. We should not be swayed by that. Super soul is not like you. Super soul is Bhagavan himself. The super soul is not like you. Okay? So don't be swayed by that technicality which has been mentioned and also I really have to look deeply into the Sanskrit. What's actually the actual Sanskrit meaning of that. So I have to look closely into that translation itself, because the translation may be confusing sometimes. Yeah.
Adding up what Prabhu's question was the living entities are any circumstances, they are not formless.
They are not?
Formless.
Yeah. They're not formless. No.
Sanatan.
Yeah.
So living entity are Sanatan, like Krishna is Sanatan.
Yeah.
Right? So at any circumstances they are not formless.
When they were formless.
So now merging with Brahma-Jyoti, what's it? Brahma-Jyoti is basically the effulgence, the light coming from Krishna.
Yeah.
Right? Now when the super soul merges with that Brahma-Jyoti, it basically signifies something like when Krishna and Brahma, that's past time, when Brahma was bewildered, right? Brahma was bewildered because he stole the cows and kept it somewhere. And then Brahma came and he saw Krishna there, and his Lord, as Vishnu, many forms were standing and merging Krishna. So that merging with Krishna or Brahma-Jyoti, that doesn't necessarily mean something else. It's Krishna can manifest himself. Krishna can manifest himself. So manifestation and withdrawal, that's part of Krishna's pastime. Like a Mahavishnu from all the purpose, unlimited form of unlimited universe, unlimited Brahma, unlimited Vishnu, holding that universes, and unlimited Paramatma within each living entity's heart. It's theirs but common. So merging doesn't necessarily mean loses the identity. So it doesn't lose the identity. The identity remains a Sanatana mean forever.
Yeah,
so that merging with Brahma-Jyoti, it's just a term what Prabhupada tried to mention, that Krishna is effulgent, because Golokdham is surrounded with this Brahma-Jyoti, which is coming from Krishna's body. So merging means just like a parrot, Prabhupada gave an example, landed in the tree. A parrot is green in color and get down in the tree and sit down on the branch. So common people, laymen would say, well, it merges with the tree. But the bird has its individuality even within the tree. Similarly, merging means at certain point of time Krishna manifests himself, but certain point in time Krishna again bring back the whole thing into himself. So when nothing was there, Krishna was there. Getting the point? So that's basically just to make us understand how Krishna is great. That's the greatness of Krishna. So merging with Brahmajyoti, Krishna's effulgence.
Brahmajyoti is Krishna's body. Because the Brahmajyoti is not different from Krishna. It's Krishna's body. Krishna's shiny body. Its rays, his form. It's
Here Krishna is complete. Like Prabhu cited the words to this. Like Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, he manifests himself as different form. So different level of understanding. Those who understand, different level, they are less in comparison. But another something you realize Krishna as Bhagavan, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, so it's complete realization. So we got to reach the third realization, which is Krishna Swayam Bhagavan realization. So when the Paramatma, we are little lesson. Brahmajyoti, we are little lesson. So then in this way, the bhakta normally penetrate into the spiritual world. In spiritual world, tat gatva nivartante tad dhamma paramamam. That's referred to spiritual world, which is Guru Dham. From where we will come back again. Over there we have our form, so we see Krishna, we play with Krishna, we serve Krishna. The one over there, that living entities, they are Nitya Swarupa, because each individual has a Swarupa. You may not acknowledge now, once you become a sadhana siddh, you're doing sadhana, you become siddh, and then the Swarupa will be revealed. So you're part of whatever it is in the spiritual world. So that's a process that goes on.
That's more. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, better explanation. Okay. So, anybody has any other thing? So it's very interesting that, and that's why whenever we read this, we have to keep meditating again. We have to keep meditating again and again. And then the answer will come, answer will come to us. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Gopi Manande. Hare Krishna.